This was Casemiro before.
Another win for Liverpool.
And this is Casemiro now. This isn't the same player pundits wrote off as finished last season.
Leave the football before the football leaves you. The football's left them.
Instead, Casemiro is now one of United's most important players in their push for a top 4 finish, pulling the strings in midfield and providing both defensive steel and a real attacking threat. But this begs the question, how exactly did Casemiro spark this turnaround? Casemiro will depart United at the end of this season when his contract expires, having enjoyed a largely positive stint at Old Trafford. However, that didn't always look like being the case, particularly as the 2023-24 season drew to a close. Back in May 2024, Jamie Carragher, in classic Jamie Carragher fashion, delivered a memorable takedown of Casemiro on Sky Sports just months after he had declared that the Brazilian's legs had gone. It was no secret that United were keen to offload Casemiro that summer. While inconsistent performances were a major factor, the club was also eager to relieve themselves of his hefty wages, reportedly £350,000 per week.
If he were to leave in this window, it would be a massive boost for Manchester United, given the fact that he's one of the highest earners at the club. United, of course, are in this sell-to-buy position, so every pound counts as far as they're concerned. We've seen that in lots of different ways over the course of the last few months.
Casemiro's poor start to the 2024-25 season didn't help his case either, particularly evident during his dreadful showing in a 3-0 home defeat to Liverpool in which he was practically playing against, not for, United. Following that match, he didn't start another game under Ten Hag for 6 weeks, and while he did start in Amorim's first 2 league games in charge, he found himself as an unused substitute in 12 of the next 15 matches due to the manager's assessment of his perceived incompatibility within the system, even falling behind Toby Collier in the midfield pecking order at one point. Seriously, how?
Played the whole game again, that was pretty much out of necessity, but in context of since Ruben Amorim's come in, he actually hasn't played that much. 17 available matches he could have played, but only 5 starts.
However, with United needing all hands on deck towards the business end of last season, Casemiro roared back to life. He started 8 of their final league games and all 7 of their Europa League knockout games, playing a key role in their run to the final by contributing to 3 goals during that incredible extra-time comeback against Lyon and scoring in the semi-final first leg against Athletic Bilbao. During this time, Casemiro also never lost Amorim's respect, unlike Garnacho and Rashford, and is turning things around through hard work and professionalism. Now, the Brazilian has carried his impressive form into this season and is an indispensable starter for both club and country. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, we'd be incredibly grateful if you subscribed. Your support helps us grow and continue creating the content you love. One of the main issues in Casemiro's game before Amorim's arrival was how open United were structurally. Ten Hag's side were notorious for the gaping holes in their midfield, and with Casemiro not getting any younger, he often found himself exposed more than a hooker on a busy night. He could still pick a pass and make crunching tackles, but whenever a transition-focused side countered United, Casemiro lacked the pace to cover ground and proved as useful in protecting his defence as a broken condom. Of course, the core problem lay with Ten Hag's system, as under Amorim, United weren't quite as vulnerable. Still, Casemiro was a somewhat awkward fit out of possession, as Amorim wanted United to press high and even acknowledged the need to adjust the team's pressing structure to accommodate the veteran Brazilian. The issue of his reduced mobility was underscored by the fact that last season he recorded the 3rd lowest top speed among central and defensive midfielders to have played at least 450 minutes in the Premier League. Although that figure has remained the same this season, it has been less of a glaring issue, with United appearing more compact overall, spending just 27% of their total match minutes deploying a high block compared to 32% and 30% in the past 2 seasons, respectively. At the same time, their passing sequences have started further from their own goal than in previous seasons, enabling their backline to operate much closer to the midfield and minimising the risk of Casemiro being overwhelmed in vast open spaces larger than Area 51. Casemiro might not be able to play every minute of every game anymore, but when he is not on the pitch, United have been undeniably worse. The Red Devils have on average been 4 times more likely to concede when their veteran midfielder is unavailable. His impact is reflected in United's results too. Among the 7 games they have lost out of 29 so far this season, Casemiro has only started 2. He was also an unused substitute against Grimsby Town, meaning he played no part in one of the most embarrassing results in the club's history. In league play, Fulham equalised just 5 minutes after Amorim took Casemiro off. When he was substituted against Liverpool after being booked in the 58th minute, United lost their momentum and ultimately their lead before Harry Maguire's late winner. The team looked lost again when he missed the disappointing 3-1 defeat at Brentford due to suspension, as well as when he only played the final 10 minutes in their 3-0 loss to Manchester City. This was apparent once more following his late substitutions against Brighton, Tottenham, Bournemouth and Fulham again, when United suddenly appeared more vulnerable through the centre. Despite being 34 and lacking the pace and intensity he once had, along with occasional lapses like his sending off against Chelsea, his experience and game management have proven crucial.
There's a reason why people like Casemiro and Varane have as many trophies as they have. They're just winners. And winners don't care what it is. It's just winning that matters most.
None of what we've discussed so far captures just how crucial Casemiro has been offensively as well. Since last February, his 11 goal involvements across all competitions are bettered only by Bruno Fernandes among United players. During this time, just 2 Premier League players have scored more than Casemiro's 5-headed goals in all competitions, with the Brazilian undoubtedly proving significant in helping United become one of the league's most efficient sides at attacking set pieces. Casemiro's 22 goals across over 150 appearances for United, averaging 1 goal every 6.8 games, also surpasses that of every United holding midfielder in the Premier League era. Only Marouane Fellaini, who spent much of his United career as an attacking midfielder, comes close with an average of a goal every 8 games, while Scott McTominay follows behind with 1 every 8.8 games. His passing ability remains another major asset. Not only does he rank in the top 10 among central and defensive midfielders for line-breaking passes this season, but 4 of those have come in passing sequences that ultimately led to goals. Casemiro's multifaceted skill set contrasts starkly with Manuel Ugarte, who is only really adept at winning the ball back, and even that's been a struggle of his lately, let alone expecting him to play well for more than 30 minutes at a time. Now just imagine if Casemiro had joined United in his prime just a few years before he actually did. Disciplined in his positioning, astute in his reading of the game, and just as aggressive as ever, Casemiro anchors United's midfield and takes their attacking play to a new level. However, his newfound form shouldn't detract from the fact that letting him move on is likely the right decision for both parties. Too often over the past decade, the club has held onto players for too long or relied too heavily on ageing veterans. Whoever United turn to, they'll soon realise that replacing Casemiro won't be cheap or easy. Just ask Real Madrid, who spent up to £86 million on Aurélien Tchouaméni right before selling Casemiro to United, having already invested £34 million in Eduardo Camavinga the year prior. With all this in mind though, Casemiro won't be leaving as a signing to be regretted, but rather as a player who overcame adversity to remind everyone that while form is temporary, class is permanent.
How will the fans look back at this time there, as a success or a mistake?
I don't think it was a mistake. I think he brings somebody with his, obviously, aura, ability, some things that he's won. I think just need that sort of something around the dressing room for the uncertainty for all the rest of the players. It's been so long now for Manchester United.
But there's no doubt he's bounced back, and it is now fair to say the football has not left him, considering what he's producing this season. If he wants to come back at me and say, leave the punditry before the punditry's left you, he could definitely get one of those back in.
If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more content like this. Also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.